Hello, my name is Zach, and this is Magic the Gallery, a channel all about appreciating the beautiful and wonderful art of the Magic the Gathering card game. Today, as my fourth art review for Ikoria Lair of Behemoths, I will be discussing my 5 favourite red cards. Quick disclaimer, art is subjective, and while I am discussing my opinions, you are very much entitled to your own. I would love for you to disagree with my choices and to explain why in the comments. Up first, I have Tentative Connection, which was illustrated by Kieran Yanna. This card represents the moment of the Ikoria story where Luca was sent to hunt down a winged tiger, but instead bonds with it. In the foreground, we have the tiger on the right, sitting calmly while Luca, who is on the left, is stroking it and also admiring its large tusks. In the background is an impressive glimpse of this city Drannit. Both characters' gaze is towards each other, and there are white markings on Luca's face which mimic the white patterns in the tiger's fur, creating unity within the image. This card shows the soft side of Ikoria's fearsome beasts, but more interestingly, the soft side of Luca, who in other cards is quite stern. The texture of the tiger's fur is done amazingly. It looks believably fluffy and soft thanks to the incredible line work. The light brown of Luca's coat with red embellishment match the tiger's orange fur and red mouth area, again linking the two characters and creating unity. The overall colour palette of this card is nice and light, setting up the relaxed and peaceful mood that surrounds this significant story event. Card number 4 is Lava Serpent by Jason A. Engel. Here we see the front of Lavabrink, a city in Rawgrin which is protected by a shelf of rock on one side and a moat of lava on the other. In the foreground of the image sits an elemental serpent, emerging from the lava and looking threateningly off to the left of the card. The lighting is the main thing that stands out to me in this artwork. The lava in the foreground glows brilliantly and bathes the creature from underneath in a menacing orange. This fiery illumination glints off of the serpent's scales and also catches the smoky air, creating an orange fog over the lower half of the background. We can also see some heat shimmer in the air around the serpent's back and bits of lava flicking off where it is moving. The city in the background is dotted with purple crystals and lava falls pouring over the rocky shelf above. My favourite aspect of this image is the serpent's belly. There is both fire glowing from within the beast and flames wrapped around the outside. Compared to the scales on top of the serpent that merely reflect light, its underside is alive with it. Where the creature meets the lava, it is white hot, and this follows a gradient down to orange. There is fire inside the beast's mouth as well, which reflects its elemental nature and implies that it can probably breathe or spit fire. This card is amazing and eye-catching and a great part of Ikorian art. For art number 3, I have chosen Drannit Stinger, which is illustrated by Denman Rook. In this image, a human wizard stands in the foreground, blasting an unseen enemy with a powerful stream of fire. There is a powerful wind coming from their attack, which is blowing their robes to the left. Once again, the splendour of Drannit is shown in the background. The crystal towers glow in the distance, and the battlements are ringed with spots of light, the torches and magic of other warriors defending their home. This suggests that a large-scale battle is taking place, rather than just a one-on-one fight with our wizard, which is probably the war in which Luca leads an army of monsters against the city. The human's costume is dotted with small green crystals, which are common among the soldiers of Drannit, and possibly aid their use of magic. She is using her right hand to create a source of fire, and just channeling it into her left, which is directing it as a continuous stream at her target. There are tendrils of flame, which connect the two really nicely, and also frame her face, which is locked in a grim expression of determination. Her stance is similarly aggressive, and it is clear to the viewer that she will die before letting any monster near her home. And for number 2, I have Go for Blood by Chris Rallis. This is another card of Luca and his companion. This time, the two are in battle together, charging forwards towards the viewer. With Luca on the right and the tiger on the left, once again, both characters are linked with visual elements. Luca's clothing matches the tiger's white patches of fur, which in the dappled light cast by a thick canopy of leaves, comes through as a pale brown. Their facial expressions are identical, both baring their teeth and staring with narrow yellow eyes directly at the viewer. There are white markings on Luca's face, which again resemble the patterned fur of the cat, and both of them have their left arm coming out in front of them in their charge. The background is a dense forest with bright crystals filling gaps in the composition. Trees to either side frame the image's borders, and the terrain is angled steeply downwards towards the centre, which makes it seem like the image is closing in on the two figures, emphasizing their approach towards us, and also our path towards them, as we presumably meet them in battle. The unseen threat they are fighting is at Luca's eye level, and so is possibly a group of coppercoats rather than a monster, which would be larger. The tiger's outstretched wings are truncated by the image of the frame, which portrays its enormity, especially in relation to the coppercoats. These two companions are now a powerful force together, and this message is delivered by this wonderful artwork. My favourite card is Reptilian Reflection, which is illustrated by Antonio Jose Manzanito. This card features a cluster of reddish-pink crystals on a rocky terrain. Each crystal in the foreground shows the reflection of a dinosaur-clad monster with a menacing grin. I am absolutely blown away by this image. The crystals are incredibly vibrant, and the shade of pink contrasts brightly against the background and fills the image with energy. Notice how if the crystals were a more classic shade of red like most red cards in Magic, it loses a certain pop and becomes duller. The highlight of this image though is the reflections. The crystals expertly reflect not only the dinosaur, but the rocks as well, which are featured mainly in the central crystal. Accurate reflections are hard work, but Antonio has nailed them. The images of the dino's face are crisp and well textured. Judging from the angle of the leftmost reflection, the dinosaur's head is close enough that the viewer is probably looking through its eyes, which are reflected red in the crystals to seem dark and hostile. When I saw this art, I was instantly reminded of Mirror March, and think that this card makes an excellent substitute for that artwork. It then disappointed me to find out that this card only turns into one dinosaur, rather than popping out token copies, which to me is what the art suggests. Regardless, this image is amazing and I can't get enough of it. These are my top 5 red cards from Ikoria Lair of Behemoths. Let me know what yours are in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing and hitting the bell notification icon to receive updates on future videos. That's all for this video. Stay safe and enjoy your games.